Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And this week we're going to be discussing something that I thought about while I was outside turning into a russet potato when I used to look like a yellow potato. And no, this is not my Asian skincare routine, how I bleached my skin, because clearly my skin's not being bleached. I literally turning into a russet potato. But like, as I was outside turning into a russet potato, thinking about how warm it is in my state, I was wondering what the heck is so bad about plastic, right? Okay, we're gonna go back to my last video, which link in description if you want to watch it. It's about why we shouldn't, use metal straws and why we should just use no straws in general, which is because, like, okay, think about it. If we use biodegradable straws, so metal straws, like reusable straws, or non-reusable straws in the form of paper straws that are more biodegradable for the environment, right? We are still wasting resources. We can't forget about the fact that, like, our trees are being chopped down, and that's like depleting the earth of its oxygen supply, right? So making paper straws would hurt the earth, and having metal straws is slightly better, but using those resources isn't ideal. I went to California recently, and I kind of liked how they didn't, give you a straw unless you asked for it. And even if you did, it would be like a paper straw, or most people didn't use a straw. So that like kind of proves my point that we don't need to use a straw, because I've been in California and they don't give you straws and everyone seems to be fine. Okay, it's only in like these other states, like in my state in Texas, everyone gives you like a plastic straw or something, when in reality you really don't need it as long as they clean their cups properly. So I don't know why you guys are concerned about the hygiene of the cups either. Anyways, so that brings me to my next point, which is plastic isn't that bad, right? Okay, hear me out. First of all, the whole thing about plastic is that it's not really biodegradable and that we're using too much of it and that's ruining our earth, right? So, we need, like, plastic literally, makes our lives the way it is. I could probably name out like 10 things in my room that are plastic right now. Like, my doors are probably like, half plastic. I'm pretty sure doorknobs are made out of plastic. Plastic is like literally inevitable. Okay? And second of all, the thing about plastic is that we are wasting it, okay? We're using too much of it. We should be more aware of how we're using our plastic. So, give, for example, like plastic bags. Why do people want you to use reusable bags versus plastic bags? It's because you can use one reusable bag in the course of 3 months, and you use 24 plastic bags in let's say 3 months if you go like shopping, right? Or more. And that's inherently worse for the environment, having 24 bags of plastic versus one bag of plastic, And not only that, but people are not disposing of their plastic properly, which means that they're like throwing it everywhere. They're littering. Okay? We wouldn't be having the issue that we have now if we're disposing our plastic properly in places where they're supposed to be distributed. If they were distributed, like if we threw them away properly, if we didn't just like chuck them on the road and leave it to flow into the ocean to go kill another animal, we would be in a much better place. Both probably financially, because we would save a lot of money by not having to go clean up the ocean and by not having to deal with the animal deaths. Plastic does release greenhouse gases when it decomposes, right? Even though it's like a heck of a long time to decompose. That's why we should use less of it. I'm not saying that plastic is bad. It's not bad. We need plastic, okay? My charger cable charging my phone is plastic. And I need my phone because, internet has made everything much more convenient, and we wouldn't be in a place that we are now without the internet. Hi guys, I was editing this at my breakfast table, but basically I realized that my previous statement, like all of that greenhouse stuff, is kind of unclear. And basically what I was trying to say is that even though, despite the fact that plastic does release greenhouse gases, right, it's not entirely, like, there's pros and cons to everything, right? And one of the pros of plastic is that it makes our world go round. Like, literally, we can't do anything in life without plastic. Like, the walls behind me are probably made out of plastic. My charger cable is made out of plastic. My headphones are made out of plastic. Even your clothes contain some bits of plastic. So it's inevitable that we have to use plastic in some way, shape, or form. But we could make the process better and release less of these greenhouse gases if we use less plastic. And I think that what I'm trying to say here is that, we shouldn't just target one thing because it's a trend or we see it on Instagram. We should just be more aware in general and try to live a less waste producing lifestyle in order to help our environment as much as we possibly can. Right? Some cups are made out of plastic. We can't expect all our cups to be made out of glass. I mean, if you think about it, we could say that glass is bad too. There's like pros and cons to everything. It's just that plastic is getting hated on because it's what we see the most. But the only reason why we see it the most is because people aren't disposing of it properly. Like, I'm going to say that a lot. We aren't disposing our plastic properly. We aren't disposing our trash properly, okay? Trash belongs in a trash bag, okay? The ocean is not trash. There's no trash that should be in the ocean. The only trash I want to see in the ocean are the dead fish lying around or like pieces of dead whatever sea animals, okay? That's the only thing I want to see decomposing in there. I do not want to see us keep on throwing our water bottles into the oceans for some weird reason. I don't want to see us throwing plastic bags that drift into the sea for no reason. We should be disposing of them properly. And I know our landfills are filling up quickly, which brings me back to the point about why we should conserve our resources, okay? Don't waste food. Don't waste resources. Same thing. It costs energy and time to make those resources, okay? We should not waste them. Like, for example, pen has plastic. Don't buy more pens when you still have a perfectly good set of pens to use that aren't out of ink. Like, it's possible, I know it sounds weird, but it's possible to run out of ink for my pen. I would know. I was in AP US History. I went through 7 packs of ink, and I'm pretty sure I killed at least one microorganism in the process. If not spawning more, because decomposition probably creates some microorganisms. So there's some weird science behind that, but I'm not going to go into that. So you see, plastic isn't that bad, you know? Because the only problem about plastic is, again, we're not throwing it away properly, and B, we're not, treating it properly, and we're not like being aware of how much plastic we are using. So which brings me back to the plastic straw, like metal straw debate, right? I said metal straws aren't good. And in the grand scheme of things, if you need to use a straw, metal straws are better, right? Because they're reusable and you can use them many times, therefore less waste of resources. However, it would be better for the whole entire environment for us not to use metal straws at all, because it's just like a waste of resources. We're wasting fossil fuels and we're wasting, precious, like metals, even though they're like, abundant metals to make these straws. And inevitably, there's going to be some sort of con made out of that, which is why some people go on the like no waste lifestyle, which is where they basically try to generate as least waste as possible. And I honestly think that if there's anything that you could do to save the environment, that would be one of them. The no waste, because you use reusable everythings and you live like a life of semi-minimalism. Obviously, minimalism depends on the person. Not everyone can be minimalist. Like, we need to be consciously aware of the environment for the people around us. I may pick up trash from the floor or remind people that, you need to pick up your own trash and that you need to throw away your trash properly. One thing that I noticed from, I went to Disneyland last time and they had, people who were picking up trash constantly. I know that kind of creates a job in a place where job markets are getting, smaller. But at the same time, we shouldn't be picking up trash because we should be disposing of it properly, especially in a place like Disneyland where there's trash cans around every block, around every corner. They're literally more abundant than the Disney princesses in Disneyland. It's almost ridiculous how people don't throw away their trash properly. And that's why plastic isn't that bad either, this is gonna conclude my video, by the way. Why plastic isn't that bad either is just that people aren't using plastic properly, and we're not disposing of it properly, A, which is something that we should do, and B, we're wasting too much of it, which is why it's bad, because plastic is something that we can easily waste, okay? So it's easy for, the outside people to, target plastic and how bad it is, because it's easily waste. But, what about paper? Did we forget about the fact that our trees are dwindling, our tree supply is dwindling, and our oxygen is, being produced at less rates? Did we forget about the fact that trees help combat greenhouse gases and that using paper substitutes would inevitably kill more trees? everything is just so one-sided, and we need to think about everything before deciding to do anything. And the best option to, helping our environment is A, picking up after ourselves and possibly others, and B is to use less resources, to be less wasteful. Okay, we have to be less wasteful for our world to go around. And with that, I'm gonna end on a happy note, which is,
guys, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Let's get to 20 subscribers. Share and like this video if you would like, and check out my Instagram. Bye.